What is going on, everybody? It is Tony Tucker here with our debut show of the Fro and Flow Fantasy Football Talk here. I am joined by Fantasy Flojo. I'll have him get the information where you can go and get actual good fantasy advice. I'm just here for a bunch of nonsense. Let's have a little fun with a little opening here. Ooh, Aaron.
Beautiful work, bro. Wow.
Aaron Rodgers, I still own you. I am 1-0 in fantasy matchups against Flojo. I didn't make the playoffs in that league, and I got dusted. I think I finished like 11 on 12.
Hey, that's your claim to fame, bro. Run with it. You know what I'm saying?
It is. I'm getting ready to update my bio. My dog's got the zoomies.
I beat Flojo one time last year. That's in your bio.
That's my peak accomplishment. You need to chill out, homegirl. So what's good fantasy wise with you? Are you back in like full mode, or did you just never leave?
Bro, you know me. I'm degenerate by nature. I don't know what to do. Hey, you want to be in this league? Well, I got this Dynasty. Bro, we need one more spot. You know how it goes. And I'm like, I'm going to cut down on my leagues this year. I'm telling my wife. And we all know how that story ends every single year. I'm on full tilt. I got 4 Dynasty leagues now, drafted in all of them. And, you know, man, I got this stuff burning through my skull, bro. I'm ready to roll.
I love it. I actually would like to get more Dynasty leagues in my life. Not more, but maybe another one. I only have one. We are talking Dynasty today. We're going to get to wide receivers in a second. But just a couple of quick news stories this made me laugh, was that Brian Daboll said he wants Daniel Jones to turn it loose. Like, what? Did you not watch games? You were in Buffalo, New York. You could have made a drive down there and saw that.
Hey, look, you got to respect the coach for having confidence in his brand new QB. Like, yo, turn it loose. This is your squad. This is his squad for 1 year. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option. I'm not mad at Daboll because, like, if you're not instilling confidence in your quarterback early, often right now, especially a player like Daniel Jones, you're not a good coach. So I'm not mad at him, but it's pretty comedy because turning it loose is 3 turnovers in 1 game, poor field position, terrible defense, and my boy Saquon just can't get nothing going.
They did the right things in the draft, right? You get an offensive lineman, you get some help on defense. So I like those moves. There's just nothing that shows me that in 1 year he's going to be able to convince Brian Daboll that he could somehow turn into Josh Allen. Like that, I just don't see it. Like the receiving core there is kind of weird. Like Sterling Shepard was on the block to be traded, then Kadarius Toney after 1 year was about to be traded. Like they don't get Evan Ingram back. Like I just don't know what's going on. So, I mean, I'd like to dunk, but that's not going to happen.
I'd agree. Weird, but talented nonetheless, right? So nobody believed Sean McVay was going to be this mastermind year 1. Is Daboll Sean McVay? I don't think so, but I think he's a good coach. I think he comes from some success. I think he knows what it takes to win. I do believe he feels like he has enough pieces to be serviceable, especially in a really soft division. Who knows what's going to happen in the NFC East? Everyone's already crowned the Eagles, and I guess I'm leaning towards that. But we just don't know, man. Like this is a good gauge on what type of coach Daboll is. And if he could turn this Swami in the building, if he could turn this franchise around like Miracle City, but I feel like I'm a little more optimistic than most.
I'm not at all. I'd rather be optimistic on Tua than I would on Daniel Jones.
Fair enough. I'll take that.
Yeah, that's for Piggy. I don't know where he is, but somewhere he's watching tape on Tua, I'd like to believe. Lastly, and this will transition us into talking about Dynasty, and that's that Kyler Murray's like unhappy about coming to camp without a deal, or those are like the sentiments of the report. And it's like, I get it. You're not very big. You keep getting injured. and now your top wide receiver, D-Hop, is down with, little juice action. I get it. I don't want to be there. I wouldn't.
Well, look, I think it's him playing hardball a little bit. I already saw before camp starts, he's getting a deal similar to Derek Carr. They have to pay him, right? They're all in. He's Kingsbury's guy. They brought in Hollywood, right? What a perfect stopgap to fill that squad with, the stuff that they've already built in college, right? All that stuff exists. It's still going to exist. He's going to stretch the field. He's the perfect player for that offense. And I actually obviously liked him more when D-Hop's there, but right now, Rondale Moore, Hollywood, I feel like they drafted Trey McBride, who's a nice tight end. I know they re-signed Ertz. He still has weapons. James Conner, look, man, James Conner is about as old as you, but my man is going to be nice for a certain amount of weeks for fantasy, right? He could be a top 10 guy very, very easily. I think they drafted another rookie who's pretty solid too. But look, if I'm Kyler, you got to play that move. You got to play hardball. You still show up, right? You do what you're supposed to do. It's your squad. You're a franchise quarterback. Don't be a bum and hold out. Like, show up, get your deal, get your paper. And we got to remember too, Tony, not everyone, has, the acting chops like you who can get off the couch and go book a commercial. You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes need to get their money now, bro. The window's very small. And I'm never mad at dudes trying to chase the bag, because this is that lifelong wealth for their families that they should be trying to get. Because guess what? ACL, anything, poor production, they're on the couch with us, bro. You know what I mean? So that window closes quick.
Yeah, I'm about them getting their money. I like your optimism. Like, were you helping your kids with a project and huffing rubber cement? Like, you're on cloud nine, my friend. You're like, James Conner could be top 10. Huh?
All I'm saying is I just traded for Kyler Murray in a new dynasty. Okay. I own him in, I think, 2 or 3 out of 4. Kyler's my guy. Kyler's been my guy since he got into the league. My first dynasty ever, I went Kyler, Cam Akers. Okay, so those are my guys. I got a little bias built in, I think. But week 11, every single year, I think Kyler's been a top 2 or 3 QB for those first 11 weeks. My man's not a scrub. My man's nice with it. No. He's got those little tiny legs, we'll say, because we're being a little PC. Kind of like how you look when you're doing squats in the garage. My man can get out. He can get out and move.
Oh, I look like Kyler Murray if he let himself go. Like, in 20 years, if Kyler still looks this good at 40, he'll feel really good about himself for sure. I like that. But we were talking about Kyler and the receiver situation. You touched on the Hollywood Brown stuff. Do you want me to just throw up these? There's another comment in here from Swami. What you guys leaning more towards? Kyler playing this season or holding out for the season? I think he plays no matter what, right? And to me, if you're the Arizona Cardinals, you had Josh Rosen like 72 months ago. So that's what waits for you in the draft if you think that's the option. If you want to go get somebody who's like, I'm going to be the greatest quarterback of all time, and you can't even make a practice squad in the USFL, like, it's pretty bleak.
Gross.
Out there.
It's gross. Shout out to Swami. My man's always showing love and supporting, man. There was a video, right? Because he's a Buffalo fan. There's a video of Buffalo fans completely pissed off because they didn't take Josh Rosen and they took Josh Allen. So think about Buffalo fans. If you would have drafted Josh Rosen over Josh Allen, ooh.
Oh, wow. It would be EJ Emanuel all over again. I'm excited. Swami, who's one of my favorite players drafted in this last draft was Khalil Shakur, because of the destination and the low expectations behind Gabe Davis. And you still have like a 28-year-old Stephon Diggs or 29. Stephon Diggs is still kind of weirdly young. Like, I'm like, this dude's been playing for a decade and he's like,
nice skin, bro. He looks good, right?
It's like 27. Yeah, Bills, that's the one team. I'm not looking forward to going to Buffalo for the AFC Championship game. I am biased, and I believe the Chargers are going to the Super Bowl.
Hey, Chargers did what the Rams did, man. I love, like, go all in, man. Like, F them picks, bro. That's what they say, right? F them picks. That's what the Rams said, and it paid off. The Chargers did, and we can get to that, bro, because I know you just love to chop it up about the Chargers, but what they did this offseason screams we are chasing the chip right now while we got Herbie on that rookie deal. Because when that runs out, bro, my man is going to get that bag.
Yes, he is. We're talking like 60 mil a year. Like, it's going to be gross.
He deserves it, bro. He's so, I love him.
I hope they just are like figure out some, Bitcoin wormhole. Come on, you need to put that in a safe if I come by, because I don't got sticky fingers, but you'll never see it again. Swami keeping it he wasn't one of those for Josh Rosen. He was happy for Allen. And in Buffalo too, you have to be able to have that big arm. Like, Josh Rosen just wasn't going to be that guy. That's like sometimes when I hear fans and they're like, I want this guy in Chicago. I'm like, you don't want that guy in Chicago. You don't know what it's going to be like in November and December. And you got a guy who's struggling to throw, 15-yard outs to the wide side of the field. Like, not everybody has a cannon like me and Flojo. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I would exclude you from that last statement, but I feel you.
Oh, we're going to get at a park one of these days, and you're going to be like, okay, he's nice.
Tony's got a little something. Tony's got a little something. Okay.
Yeah. I was throwing to Mike the other day in the street here, and I was still getting it about 55 yards out there. And that's
Mike's hands are a little suspect. How do you do with that?
He was good. I laid it in there nicely.
Did he bring his gloves?
Chargers are winning the West. Swami. Love it. You're welcome. The J.C. Jackson edition. Mac. Defensive line. Run game's going to be better. I don't want to make this a Charger show. I have a nuts and bolts show already. You can go and find it. Let's get these wide receivers, and we'll do like a top 5 list afterwards. But this is complimentary of Fantasy Pros, and no surprise to me with the first 2 up there. When you go down this list, where's like sort of your first qualm?
It's got to be number 3. I mean, you're talking CeeDee Lamb. I get it. The age, talent, opportunity share. Amari left, top 3, 4 passing attempt offense in the league. Dak's a nice player. I get why he's there, but like to put him at 3 over Kupp, over a couple other these guys, that it's really interchangeable. To me, it's a no-brainer. Kupp, I know he's up there, a little long in the tooth. I know Swami's banking on my man or I don't know if it was him or Andrew. Oh, he's going to get injured. He has one good year, then he's injured. Then I think that was Andrew. Like, come on, bro. Like, you can't bank on injuries. You got to bank on the player, the production, the role, everything that's established. And he's young enough to play another 3 or 4 or 5 years. And I don't go too far out into Dynasty. I like to keep it like at a 2-year window because you just never know. To me, Kupp is easy, number 3. We could talk CeeDee Lamb after that. And like I said, youth, talent, opportunity share, team, quarterback, everything is aligning. But is he that dude, bro? Is he that one? Where are they going to play him? Is he going to be in the slot more? Can he be that dominant one in this offense, which is yet to be seen? We've seen it from J-Jeff and we've seen it from Jamar Chase. No questions, hands down, alpha big dog number 1. But for me, that CeeDee Lamb at 3 is right away the first question for me.
Yeah, I think so too. The thing with Cooper Kupp is it's like he gets such better balls with Matt Stafford than he ever did with Jared Goff, right? Like, and that is something I'm not going to pass up because
better ball.
If I'm drafting for Dynasty, I want talent, obviously, but I want like quarterback opportunity. Like, I want like there to be a decent situation, or the person just has to be like ultra mega talented, like undeniable matchup proof type like ability. And I don't necessarily know that there's a lot of those, like maybe prime D-Hop was that, where he was playing with like TJ Yates out there and still getting $1.15 the touchdown.
Proven work. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, so just real quick here. I think the other part that I'm like a little confused about is like why Tyreek Hill is behind like the 3 people that are ahead of him. Like, did he go to Miami and like get slower? Did the cheetah get trapped, shot, tranquiled? Like, what's the deal? Is it
tranquilized is a good way to put it. because my man is only catching, they're only catching over and under routes. They're catching slants. We already saw the footage. You know what's sad, bro, is they had to put out new tape to cover up your boy Tua from having that footage leaked on that underthrow. It's like, bro, how much are you protecting this guy and how garbage his arm is, bro? Everything he throws, 20 yards underneath. Okay.
Yeah.
Will that be able to function properly in this offense and be successful? I think so. But let's call it, bro. Let's be real, my man. You talk about being tied to a good QB play. To me, man, Tua is okay. If they can scheme it up, look, you got to get those players in space, right? And they're gonna do work. So I believe that's what they will do. But let's not give Tua too much credit in regards to arm talent and what he is as a thrower.
Yeah, they put that out there, and I'm like, I know that was some person on the social team that probably was like, oh, this is cool. Look at this video I got. Because when you're editing and you don't really know that much about football, I guess, you're more so thinking like, oh, I have a perfect frame where I have a quarterback and our star receiver in the same footage. No, you want the video where it has to be like, whoop, like it rips because they're trying to keep up with Herbert or Allen or Mahomes gunning it 50 yards downfield. And there's a video that the Chargers fans were playing on Twitter where they were showing it's 65 yards downfield and Tyron Johnson catches the ball and gets knocked backwards. Like the ball hits him in the chest and just like blows him over. To me, it's everything's going to be fine. McDaniel seems like a smart guy. Like he's going to figure that one out. And I think that year one with Tyreek can be exciting because him and Waddle are right there. But if those hammies start to tighten up because
Florida,
you're working
baby.
overtime,
and
it freaks me out a bit. Do you want to do you have a top 5 list you want to just run through real quick?
I mean, just based off of that, we'll go. I like J-Jeff over Jamar Chase, to be honest. I'll go Kupp at 3. DK's way too low. Tyreek's way too low. Diggs is probably just about right. T. Higgins is sneaky, right? Should he be ahead of Tyreek? Probably not. But T. Higgins is in the top 10 for me because you talk about talent, you talk about quarterback, you talk about offense, you talk about everything the Bengals did in this offseason, to shore up that offensive line and give Burrow the time he needs to make those throws downfield, which he is very good at. I think T. Higgins is super sleepy this year. Not super sleepy because my man's getting drafted probably in like the 3rd or 4th. But out of all those, man, you got DA, right? You got Diggs. You got some of these older players that still have to be respected, right? I don't know how Devontae Adams is going to look in Oakland, in Las Vegas, but I promise you this. He ain't going to look as good as he did in Green Bay with tied to Aaron Rodgers, bro, because Derek Carr is okay, right? He ain't Herbie. He ain't Mahomes, right? He ain't A-Rod. A-Rod and that chemistry, bro, that takes years to build. You're on the intro, you had it like on that back shoulder. Like that's timing, that's anticipation. That stuff doesn't happen overnight. And he's not going to walk into 15 plus touchdowns. I promise you that. But I still think, he's got to be easily in the top 10. So I think crunching that list to a top 10 is a little bit easier of a call to narrow it down to a top 5. There's so many kind of interchangeable. DK is super low on that list too, by the way, because QB play, right? But who knows what's going to happen? I don't know, but based off of pure talent. So you put Dak, if you put Dak in Seattle, is DK number 3? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just want to say one of us is willing to accept the challenge, and that's me. And here's my top 5 list. Okay, I'm going with Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Kupp. I know Kupp's a little bit older, but I do think that there's 2 years, and if you can get another year like this last year, at 29, you could sell him for a pick and a young player. You could go sell him for like maybe Mclaurin doesn't have a great year, or maybe one of these rookies is a little bit, slow out of the gate, and you sell him for a rookie with upside situation and a pick in the upcoming draft. Then I'm going DK Metcalf. You just kept saying DK, and I was just like, I get it. The quarterback situation is weird, but I also hunt for garbage time. And I don't think that this team is going to be very good. I think they're in the Bryce Young, CJ Stroud sweepstakes for next year. And if you got a quarterback who's willing to whip it up there, you're looking at that. And then number 5, I went back and forth quite a bit on this one, but I settled on CeeDee Lamb just because Dak plus the opportunity. Like, everybody keeps telling me how good Michael Gallup is. He's okay. He's nice. Like, he's a nice number 2. And like some of the other players they have, I just don't think that you have a first round pick in CeeDee Lamb and that you aren't finding ways to get him open. Like, to me, that's on Kellen Moore if they can't find a way to sort of, it's a copycat league. Just watch what they do with Cooper Kupp and do the same damn thing with CeeDee Lamb, and let's get on with our business, please.
Totally. And real quick, in case I don't know how many people are on here, I can't see, but I know Swami's active. In case you guys missed it, Tony said he likes garbage time. Okay, my man and his skills are garbage also. So it goes perfect hand in hand. Sometimes you take L's to those teams where you're like, how did I lose to this squad, bro? They're garbage, but they killed you in garbage time.
Oh, I am a classic front runner. Like, I talk so much shit at the beginning of fantasy season, and as it wanes on, it just like I fall in love with certain people, and then it's just like scramble and bad at the end of the year. I had a chance to trade Zach Moss after a big game last year, and I passed on it. It was like somebody was super desperate in a league, and they were like, okay, give me Zach Moss and this wide receiver for Justin Jefferson. And I was like, no, Zach Moss is going to break out. It was the worst decision ever.
By the way, real quick, on that DK tip, okay, in a dynasty, I just sold Joe Burrow for DK and Matt Stafford. Talk to me about that.
Say that again. My brain's a little slow.
Joe Burrow in a dynasty, Joe Burrow for DK Metcalf and Matthew Stafford.
I like the DK and Matt Stafford side of the deal. Is that the side you got?
For sure.
Yeah. I like that side. I'm a Matthew Stafford fan, and I think you can get by with that. I'm also like, I'm not a Joe Burrow hater. It just bothered me how much, like, oh, Joe Cool, and look at how he just wears sunglasses from the gas station. I'm like, really? Like, this is what we're selling Super Bowl week? You tired writers.
Here's the contrast, right? You guys have the opposite of Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, right? My man is like, do you even work out? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you there? Herbie, are you talking to anybody? You just go home and make dinner for your grandma? Like, he is a different cat, but on the field, my man just slays. So, like, it's the contrast, and I get it. You're a Chargers fan. I love Herbie too, but Joe Burrow's a real deal, bro. And the thing is that everything that you just talked about, putting on some sunglasses from the gas station and just being a straight pimp, like, that translates very well in the NFL when it comes to swag, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to guys that are down to ride for you, because they look to you and you're like, this dude's a G, bro. Like, I'm not letting this guy around my sister, 100%.
Lock the doors. Joey B's strolling through town. Okay, we're going to go through this quick. I only have about 5 minutes left. It is my son's 16th birthday, and I got to get in there and get this candle lit.
Right. Happy birthday, 16-year-old.
I know,
22.
16. Goodness gracious. This end of the list right here, the thing that bothers me is Terry McLaurin is on this end of the list, right? Like, but I get why, because there's not been any consistent QB play to give him that 1,400, double-digit touchdown season. Like, that's what he really needs. The other thing that I was thinking was, like, these guys really think Zack Wilson's going to be something this year, because, like, Garrett Wilson's way up on people's lists, and, like, now Elijah Moore is creeping in here. So good luck with that. And then my last takeaway when I look at this list was, like, how many years in a row does Keenan Allen have to have 1,000 yards, 6 to 8 touchdowns, and 100 receptions for him not to be always like 25th on everybody's list? Like, how?
This is the dynasty list, right? I mean, it makes sense. Keenan Allen in football years is as old as you. I did a post on Stevie Johnson, bro. I don't know. I know you remember Stevie Johnson because you're as old as me. But Stevie Johnson was the Keenan Allen before Keenan Allen, man. And I think, like, people forget about his talent and his swag and his skill, man. And I just loved watching him play. But Keenan Allen always gets criminally hated on. You talk about Scary Terry, bro. Like, I sold him in a dynasty league. I forget for who. I love the player. I love the talent, but it's like, when, Washington is never bad enough to get that top 1 or 2 pick. Carson Wentz is not that dude. I want you to kind of elaborate, though, a little bit on Zack Wilson, because I feel like I was a little higher, even though I just traded Zack Wilson for Kyler Murray. Zack Wilson and CeeDee Lamb and a first for Kyler Murray, someone else, and a 2024 too. I did that in my recent Dynasty League, and I know I paid up. It sounds like you hate Zack Wilson. So do you like that deal? For me, I forgot what – I got one other player.
So you traded Kyler. You got Kyler.
Yeah.
For Zach. Yeah, I like the trade. My thing with any Jets quarterback is I'll believe it when I see it, right? Like, I don't care how much talent you have. We've seen it with the 2 USC guys that they had there, and you can say whatever you want, but like at some point, and I get the organization had a really strong draft. I liked what they did. Trading back into the first to get Jermaine Johnson, absolutely fantastic move. And you get Garrett Wilson. And I like the moves they've been making.
Breeze.
But at some point, don't you have to see success from a QB like other than Chad Pennington, who is really like, he's almost less gifted than Mitch Trubisky, if that's possible, with throwing the football. And somehow Pennington was able to have success. Like, you go back and watch Chad Pennington and you're like, that duck ain't making it. Like, that duck is sick. Somebody put a net over that thing and drag it out because it is dead.
Okay, well, I disagree a little bit. I think Zack Wilson flashed enough last year. He was a nice player in college. Love the arm talent. He's a sneaky athlete. Was he terrible last year? Yes. Okay, but was he tied to a terrible organization with no players? Yes. Okay, they won the draft. Robert Saleh's the man. I get it. You want to see it first, and I'm down with that. But I do believe the culture, the shift, everything in that team, tough division. Could they have a better record than the Patriots? I think so. Like the Patriots, in my opinion, bro, I'm fading every single player on the Patriots this year 100 times 100.
Yeah, they got my guy, Tyquan Thornton, in the draft. That just broke my heart. I was like, what a terrible team to end up on. Bateman definitely belongs higher. I think opportunity is there. I don't know that. The thing that worked with Hollywood Brown was he just ran a go. Like, it's just like, he might as well have worn a 9 because that's all this dude was going to do. The thing with Bateman is you need a bit of more of a quarterback that's going to work with timing. And I've never seen that. Like, Lamar Jackson's great, but it's not in his bag, I don't think. I do like Wilson. He won't be on any fantasy teams until I get confirmation that it's consistent.
Well, he shouldn't be on any
doesn't bring that wow factor like the other studs such as Devontae. Yeah, I get it. I get that's why people are doing a bit of sleeping on him. Am I being called? Am I being beckoned for dinner or what? Okay, yeah, there it is. I just got jacked by a 10-year-old with an attitude and a snaggletooth. I love you. You weren't supposed to hear that. Get out of here. Day one, kids just coming in here. This is supposed to be my time. Let's go to the rookies. I will give you my top 5 list, and people, I don't care if they like it or not. Skye Moore, you pair him up with Patrick Mahomes. If I'm drafting in Dynasty, I want the guy that is going to play with Patrick Mahomes. I've already seen what you can do when you're gifted athletically and can play with Patrick Mahomes. We've seen it with Travis Kelce. We've seen it with Tyreek Hill, and I like Skye Moore. Then I'm going with Drake London because of opportunity. Chris Olave because of the turf. The 9 games a season in New Orleans to me is just very enticing. And then I know I just slandered it a little bit, but Garrett Wilson is just nice. Like, when I just watched so much of him in the pre-draft process, I was like, he just so smooth and clean. And then Treylon Burks, who's my favorite overall receiver in the draft. Just like, I wouldn't have been mad at all if the Chargers would have wasted a pick getting another wide receiver that they didn't need. What do you think about those top 5? Or do you think I catch any heat for not putting Jameson Williams in there?
I mean, it's close from a talent standpoint. I think a lot of people would argue that he was probably 1 or 2, blowing the ACL. Bama probably wins that game if he doesn't get hurt. But Skye Moore at 1 is a little bit of a stretch to me. You mentioned raw athleticism and pure talent. I mean, the dude went to Central Michigan. Like, didn't you go there? Yes, I love it that he's tied to Patty Mahomes, but for him to be my 1 is an absolute stretch, 100%. To me, it's Drake London with that opportunity, Treylon Burks with that opportunity. I get QB play isn't that beautiful, but stuff can change, right? You got Malik just chilling in the cut, bro. A lot of people are down on Malik Willis all of a sudden when he was supposed to go 2, 3, 4, 5 in this draft and he fell. Like, yes, is what he's proven to be a little sketchy. I agree, but the upside is through the roof. So Treylon Burks could emerge as easily the Dynasty one. Young Draco, SC, you know how we do out here, flying in to ATL, about to do work. You didn't mention Christian Watson, bro. Jemo, the icon in the building. Christian Watson, bro, going to replace Devontae Adams, which is a stretch like a mofo. Okay, but we're talking about QB and we're talking about opportunity, right? That's what you just first mentioned with Patty and Skye Moore. So I believe he needs to be in the conversation for sure. I like Olave and Garrett Wilson too, man. Garrett Wilson, like you said, that tape is unmatched, bro. And my man is a straight baller. TBD with your boy, babyface killer, Zack Wilson. And then Olave too, man. I mean, they signed Jarvis. That hurts his value a little bit. Jameis watch Jameis finish in the top 10 pretty easily, bro. Like he's someone you got to just like, I don't feel good about this. This feels gross. And then you're like, yo, 303, like, let's go. So we'll see.
Yeah, Jared Goff it freaks me out. Like him going to the Lions it was such a bummer because I get everybody goes, well, they'll just throw him quick screens and he'll take it to the house. This is the NFL. He's not playing Modesto, okay? Like he's going to be playing NFL talent and they're not just going to let him catch a quick screen and go 75 yards like he did in college football. So he's going to have to work for it a little bit more. I would have liked him on a lot of other teams as long as they weren't in the AFC West. We'll see about Skye Moore and how that works out. But all of it is kind of a crapshoot, and we don't know the QB situation. But Treylon Burks to me just feels right, like in there. That's why I put him ahead of Christian Watson. I know the QB plays better there, but it just feels like I've already seen what he can do and what he's gonna do, and he fits that same sort of role. Peace out, Gemma. Have a good night. He fits that role that we saw AJ Brown in, which feels good. Like it feels comforting and familiar. So I like that there. All right. We need to get rid of this. We need to end this show. I need to toss it out like all the sugar in my cabinet so I can lose some weight. I got to go sing happy birthday to my kid. I don't know where I was going with that one. Flojo, you got anything you want to end on?
No, man. Always a pleasure, Tony. We caught a vibe early on, and I'm happy. Shout out to Tony putting together this nice stuff. We got the Fro and Flow logo. All right, so I know you guys saw that on the post a couple days ago. So me and Tony always just vibe, man. We bash on each other. We share similarities with marriage and kids and playing this funny game we call fantasy. And for me, I think it dominates my life quite a bit more than you. I think you've had a nice little separation. So kudos to that. Maybe you can share some of that with me, bro, so I can actually be present and sing happy birthday to my kids instead of thinking about who I'm going to trade for in my Dynasty league. Yeah. I got issues though, man.
I would love that. Just the middle of it, you're like, happy birthday, CeeDee Lamb. And they're like, she's like, my name's Cindy. And you're like, It doesn't matter. Just blow out the candles.
Totally. I got to go. I
got to get back to this. Like somebody's trying to rip me off in fantasy and a trade right now. We'll get into all, like more stuff, personal, Prison Tad Joe over here, Husky Tony, Husky T. Whenever we can, whenever our wives say it's okay for us to go and nerd out over fantasy football, that's when we'll be back. It's as simple as that. We have no set time, but we appreciate you. Drop some comments, fantasy in there, and I'll send them to Flojo and you'll get a good response. Until next time, everybody. Peace.